The video for February the 8th, 2017 is titled, Getting Beyond the Promises to the Reality. For years, or even lifetimes, visionaries have done our best to keep the dream alive to the point of fulfillment of the vision we have maintained, a vision of peace on earth. Disillusionment has hounded us as we have witnessed firsthand the deception and criminality of those falsely claiming to be our leaders. Many have been silenced in one way or another. No doubt a lot of folks merely gave up. As for me, I continue to do my best to remain true to the vision I have had since childhood. I am encouraged by a few friends, ridiculed by some who claim to be friends, and joined by many who, like me, wait and see, praying for the best possible outcome. Will we soon see real peace on earth and real prosperity for everyone who is willing to help others? Will we be vindicated in what has been a lifelong struggle? I certainly hope so. It's interesting. I have watched or listened to portions of 3 different videos that were recommended to me in the past day that are over 3 hours long each. One of them is sent to me by my son, and the other 2 by friends. And I have had lots of ideas on what to talk about because, of course, each one of those generates thoughts and things that I could address. But where I really am, and as I just tried to focus just a little bit before I started this, and within the last half hour to an hour, as I was focusing on what to talk about, I chose the title of Getting Beyond the Promises. Once again, I have friends that are telling me that the revaluation of the currency is imminent. I have some that are telling me that the entire government of the United States, as well as leaders of the Illuminati around the world, have been or are being arrested. And there's lots of good things that I really think are necessary to happen. And there are other ideas which may come about in a certain way as time goes on. But the most important thing for me to make sense of my life, to feel that my life has not been lived in vain, is to begin to really see the transition from the criminal element to an honest element, to an element that we're not trying to eliminate free will. I mean, I have a certain individual, my son, who says there's always going to be free will, so you have to allow everything. No, you don't have to allow everything. That's never been the reality. You have to stop people that hurt other people. There are crimes against life, especially crimes against humanity. That's where we have to begin. We're not going to heal the things about animals and other things because that's of lesser value. Now, I know some people will argue with me about that, but humans to me are the epitome or the height of creation, because we, unlike everything else, were made supposedly in God's image. Whatever that is, we were made in God's image. And I've believed that my whole life. I still believe it. Despite all of the challenges that many have brought to me so far as my faith goes and what I've been taught, because I've been taught lies like everybody else. I've had to wade my way through disinformation in politics and religion, in science, and virtually every aspect of my life that forms the ideology of how I see the world and how I see myself in the world and my role. All of that has been provided to me, and I've had to wade my way through it and sift it and make decisions as to what what best serves the most and the highest good. And to me, the highest good is freedom. The highest good is truth. The highest good is love. They're all the same thing. You can't love if you're not free. You can't be forced to love. You can't be forced to tell the truth. But these are the things that actually liberate us and can set the world on a course toward real fulfillment of heaven on earth. We're never going to do that as long as we continue to buy the story that criminals have been telling us, because they are liars, they are deceivers, they are demonic elements. However you want to label them, if you look at the reality of our history, if you look at what has transpired as Earth has continued its metamorphosis, if you will, or human society has, if you look at that, you can't help but miss the conclusion that there's been malevolence, not benevolence, that has been in charge. I mean, even when we didn't have the media and everything, there were still warlike tribes that were trying to blot out other tribes and to dominate. And there's been raping and killing and horrendous crimes against humanity that have gone on generation after generation, truly for millennia. When is it going to end? I mean, truly, I was born with the dedication of my parents of me to God, whatever that is, whatever God is. And I had a realization of that, an awareness of that from the time that I was a little boy. And I've done my best not to veer very far from that vision, from that dream, from that life purpose that I felt was mine all of my life. So I want to get for myself and for humanity beyond the things we've been promised, beyond the promise of truth and justice for all. And that means those that are criminals have to be treated justly. If they repent and make amends for what they've done wrong, retribution for what they've taken away from others, if they are forced to give back what they've stolen, then they too can be redeemed. I mean, I'm not in favor of anybody losing out. I'd like to see a win-win situation for every one of us that has been involved in this drama of human existence for the very, very lengthy period of time that we've been involved in. Unlike others, yes, I believe that we've all lived with many identities. Some of us have been male and female. I don't believe any of us have ever been animals. I'm sorry for those of you that promote that concept that we evolved from animals. I believe we were, from the beginning, a special creation made in the image of God for a divine purpose. If that's not true, then everything I've ever lived for is in vain. And as I've said in other videos, I would prefer just to be erased and forget ever having been. I don't even want to know about it. I don't want to have to deal with it. But I want to get to the reality. Whatever the reality is, that's what I want to get. And I want it to be truth and justice for all. I want it to be the ability to love one another restored. And when you are doing something, how is this going to affect my brother, my sister? How is it going to affect the world around me? And obviously, those that have risen to power have only been blinded by what's in it for me. And I want to get beyond that for myself, and I'd like to see humanity get beyond that so that all of us can thrive and not just survive or not suffer. Anyway, I thank you for listening to my videos and continuing to support me in whatever way you can. Thank you, and namaste.